So I graduated in 2001 from USF. So it's really great to be here and to provide this opportunity. We're always trying to foster all the new engineers up and coming and also promote what we're doing and we're civil engineering does such great things for all of us, and I really am very thankful for the opportunity. So so let me just start. So I just want to provide you with some of the opportunities. And last year, I was honored by the opportunity to be able to go to tour the Sunshine Skyway Tour Bridge. And I was able to go to the top of one of the piers. So that's a photo that I was able to get. It's a special honor for DOT people once they meet a certain time. So that was really a neat opportunity and really cool to see. So that's that photo. So today I wanted to provide the opportunity to get some interaction. So I don't know if you all have your phones. We're going to do this through our phones, and this provides some opportunity for you to participate and interact with us. So interact with me. So if you will take, if you text to 22333 Teal Pine 982, and you can text that Teal Pine 982 to 22333. You will be able to, it will give you a link to a website where you're going to be able to participate in some interactive polling. So that's 22333 Teal Pine 982. So I don't know if you guys have gotten that, and it should bring your dialogue up. So what we're going to do is we'll practice a little bit. So I'm going to give you all an opportunity.
Just quick question. Can you go back to the previous slide again?
Sure, absolutely.
I missed that. Yeah, thanks.
Teal Pine 982. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, this is the latest thing. So anytime you guys are doing a presentation, this is really it's been very effective, and I'm kind of excited to do this. So hopefully it's all going to work out. So if everyone is ready, I'll move on, and we could try our first question. And so our first question is, what is your hometown? So if you want to put in your hometown, it should hopefully come up on the board. Is anyone having luck with it?
Do they need to sign up?
No, you don't need to sign up. Just click on it. Yeah. Let me see how it is. Let's see here. I'm gonna say test. Oh, there we got one taker. Great. Mm-hmm.
What was the plural?
Teal Pine 982. Mm-hmm. Okay, let's see here. So in your did they give you a response like that? Did they give you something like that? So
Is it
22? Yeah, to 22333 Teal Pine 982.
And see?
Yeah.
The code.
Teal Pine 982, all one word. Teal Pine 982. Okay. Mm-hmm. Does it work?
So,
Okay.
So Maddie, what you could do is in the text message, you can reply, but then it will tell you, you cannot use text message.
Yeah.
And it will give you an
Okay,
link.
yeah, that's right.
and then you click the link, it goes to the, which, yeah, browser.
I like, okay, so
Um,
I know my Sao Paulo group, that's great.
Boozman, where is Boozman?
Curitiba. Yeah, where's Boozman? Guess I'm from Montana. I will give a 30 seconds more. All right. Well, I'm going to move on to the next quick question. So this is a polling question. Let's try this. So please tell me your current position. So it's professor, researcher at USF, graduate student, junior or below at USF, consultant or other. Great. I'm glad to have a good group, very diversified. So when I work and we stress a lot is the mission of the DOT, FDOT. So it really all starts at the mission of DOT. So sharing our mission is the department will provide a safe transportation system that ensures the mobility of people and goods, enhances economic prosperity, and preserves the quality of our environment and community. Sorry for the typo there. So everything that we do focuses on the mission of the department and basically serving the people of Florida. So this is something important, and you'll see about this more later. So I am the district roadway design engineer, and we have a very broad and diversified staff. Our staff ranges from 1 year to 34 years, 33 years. So we've got a very broad staff. Our staff is very diversified. You know, they're very they have a lot of experience and they are exceptional. So really proud of our group, really great group that we have. And actually, Trevor's here with us. He was actually there in the back, but now he's moved on. So this was a picture that we took together as a group in 2022. So I just wanted to share some of the things that we do as a section. We are the design section, and we're the roadway and traffic section, but it translates to all of the other sections throughout design. And I've been with the department for 13 years now, and all in design, all in development. So the things that we do is in-house design projects. We do consultant project reviews, staff hour negotiations, scope development, selection committees, which we get contractors and consultants to do the work for us. I work on criteria development. We have monthly calls with state calls where we work on establishing criteria and talk about the criteria that we have and if it needs to be changed. And we meet yearly to talk about criteria. We also have CAD management, and we manage the resurfacing program. And we also have safety support, and everything really, it starts with safety. Safety is so important to us. And so, I mean, there's a lot of other different things, but I would say 40% of our workload is in-house design, but everything else is it's all those other categories. So our group has done it really is a good successful consulting firm almost. We've had 20 projects let for construction within the last 5 years, so or a 5-year period. So we put together this little exhibit not too long ago, and it highlights all of the different projects that we've worked on. We work in all the counties for DOT for District 7, which covers Citrus, Hernando, Pasco, Pinellas, and Hillsborough County. And I heard recently that, believe it or not, Pinellas County is the most densely populated county in Florida, and Pasco County is, I believe, the fastest growing county in Florida. So we are really in the Tampa Bay area where we really have a lot. I was kind of surprised at Pinellas because I thought, well, maybe Miami would be the most densely populated, but they're saying Pinellas is. So right now, as far as our active workload, we have got 12 projects in active design. We've got 7 projects in active construction. We've been working on an initiative, which is called the Statewide Rumble Strip Initiative, which you'll see later that lane departure is one of the areas where we've seen the highest amount of fatalities on our roadways. So rumble strips are a way, it's a safety countermeasure that can help drivers once they hit that to correct and stop from departing the roadway. We also have fast response projects, which are little items that come up, like maybe a sidewalk gap or maybe a resurfacing of an intersection or doing something else, maybe a modification. So this photo here, I don't know how many of you are familiar with State Road 52 in Dade City, around that area. We talked about Pasco as the fastest growing county in Florida. Well, Dade City, we recently, as a group, we completed State Road 52, which is, I believe it's 6 miles of brand new alignment. And so that was a project that we did in-house and with the support of a lot of consultants that helped us. So we also do a tremendous amount of reviews because we are working on managing what we call the work program, which is basically all of our projects are programmed 5 years for 5 years. And we have a lot of consultants. We do about probably 15 to 20% of the designs in-house, and we sub out to consultants about 85%. So we have a tremendous amount of reviews that we look at for all of those things. And so in a given year, we're doing between 530 to 565 reviews. We also, as we talked about, we bring in our consultants to do this, and so we have to procure them. So we have about 60 negotiations per year. So we're a really busy group. We also support all of the other aspects of the department: project management, traffic operations. We support construction, maintenance, legal, all of these different groups. So we're constantly working with all these different groups to implement the work program and provide guidance on criteria and things like that. So we support a lot of different aspects. We're also have a lot of innovation. We're constantly working on different things. The latest thing right now is, in the last 3 to 5 years, has been 3D design and doing the modeling with 3D design software. So we're working on that. We're, a lot of these images that you're seeing were taken during the pandemic. So like you, I know a lot of you might have had classes online and been doing things through Teams. Well, we've done that a lot, and we've really have brought that into our workflow. So this was a meeting that we had, and we were talking about different items in a project, and that was basically a drainage inlet on roundabout that I'm going to talk a little bit more later. We're also constantly looking for ways to innovate and improve our processes. One thing surprising that you might not think about is that when a disaster comes, we are called upon to support in the emergency response and preparation. So when Hurricane Ian came last year, we actually, prior to the storm, we were setting up planning for emergency detours and figuring out that. And then after the storm came through, we were working on emergency bridge inspection. And we also were dispatched to like Sarasota and to the other counties to look at the damage and assess the damage so that we could get the roadways clear so that we could work on different things. And you also had heard about Sanibel Causeway and the different bridges that were washed out, and department staff were heavily involved, along with contractors and consultants, getting that bridge restored so that we can get citizens access to that barrier island. So a lot of different things. So I had this question, and I thought this was really a good topic that to prepare everyone for when they go into their careers and different things. So the question is, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges for engineers today? And this question, the answers to these questions has come through a lot of discussion internally. So just want to get your impressions of what you think is the biggest challenge to engineers today. 3D ORD, yes. That is, so ORD is Open Roads Designer. So that is politics. Yeah, that's true. Politics can definitely be get in the way. Solutions out of the box. Yep. Construction. Maintenance, yes. I forgot to mention also, when you put in answer, don't put any spaces in between because it doesn't work for some reason. You can put an underscore if you want to, but these are great. Inflation, that's a really good one. You know, recently we've been talking about a lot. Supply chain has been a big issue. So these are great answers. Funding, yes. Funding, finances, taxes, yes. Right away, the eminent domain process can, you know, acquiring right away is can be a big hurdle to overcome. And sometimes a lot of the things that we want to do for safety require right away, which is property. And so that's something that we frequently are working through. And as a I don't do it as much now, but when I was the district drainage engineer, we had a lot of ponds that needed to be stormwater ponds that needed to be acquired. So we were frequently involved with our attorneys and working with it throughout that process. So those are great answers. So some of the challenges that we've come up with as a group are limited information. Sometimes we're trying to work on projects and we have limited information and we have timelines to deal with. So we're struggling to make good engineering judgments based on all of the available information. So sometimes that can be a challenge for us. We've also had a loss of experienced engineers through retirement. So there's a statistic that we are having 1,000 baby boomers retire every day. So we're having a huge amount of engineers that are retiring. So we're losing that experience. And so that has been a challenge that we're working to overcome. Another thing is, you know, we talked about just politics, sometimes decisions not made in a timely manner. Sometimes we're working on a project and we need an answer for our schedule to continue, and we're not getting that answer. And it can come from a lot of different aspects. It can come from a politician. It can become from a developer and his group working internally to agree and give us a decision. It can come from MPO trying to reach out to their citizens and trying to get them all on the same page and for us to work together. So those are challenges on decisions not made in a timely manner. Compressed schedules, you know, everyone wants to really see projects moving forward. You know, we talked about eminent domain. Eminent domain can take 18 months to 2 years. So you can imagine that there's a process that we have to have our plans all in good order so that we can go to getting property, and the projects have to be very substantially complete, and we call that about a 60% so that we can acquire our right of way. And also, you know, one struggle we talked about experienced engineers, but also labor. So we're having issues with getting survey. It used to be that we could get survey within 6 months, but now we're getting a delay because we're losing a lot of surveyors. So that surveyors, I'd say, we're, that's a big industry, and that's a good potential for someone if they want to become a surveyor, a licensed surveyor. That there's a lot of good opportunity in there. There's also, when you're working on something, sometimes you might miss an issue and you have to go back and work on something again. And sometimes that plays into the compressed schedules where you're being rushed and then you miss something and then you have to go back. Changes in policy, procedure, criteria during design. That's another big one that often impacts us. Someone talked about ORD, which is Open Roads Designer, and 3D. So that changes in technology has been something that has been a big challenge for us. The last one I'll touch on is something seems straightforward, but turns out to be much more complicated than what it was originally anticipated. So these are the challenges that we have. And there were a lot of other good ones like inflation, supply chain. A lot of those things are definitely issues. So, okay, let's see here. I just want to talk a little bit about safety. So what does everyone think is our biggest challenge for safety on our roadways? This is a good one. I really value us focusing on that and thinking about it, because everyone can help us in many different ways to improve safety on our roadways. Speed, I think that was, yes. Speed is definitely a big one. Phones, yes. Aggressive drivers, yes. Yes, speed is a big one. Weather, yes. Yes, the impaired driving is definitely a big one. So a lot of these that you're seeing are driver behavior. Weather was an environmental factor, but a lot of them are driver behavior. We can do a lot of things in design and engineering, but we really need to get all of our users on the same board. So one thing that our safety office does is they work on education, in encouragement. I think it's the 5 E's for safety, which are education, enforcement, engineering. I'm missing probably a lot of them, encouragement, and I'm missing a few of them. But if anyone can chime in, there's a lot of different ones. They call them I think it's the 5 or 6 E's. So those are the things that are important. Let's see here. So this came from our transportation plan for the state, and the biggest thing, the biggest issue we have is the types of crashes are, and I'm missing seeing that. So let me just pull that up. Ah, there you go. Okay. Lane departures and intersections. Those are the two biggest items as far as the roadway users are that are involved with crashes. It's a lot of our pedestrians and bicyclists, aging users. Motorcyclists has been a big issue lately. That's been something that's really challenging, and we're doing what we can to help improve safety for motorcyclists. We also have teen drivers is another big item that are involved with crashes. So we've been doing a lot of outreach to the public, to schools and to teens to try to help out with the behaviors. I think distracted driving plays a lot into that. I saw a lot of these items for user behavior that are impacts to safety. Just simply wearing your seatbelt is a huge item. A lot of times, unfortunately, we see in the news, we see that those that have been involved with a fatality were not wearing their seatbelts. And I can tell you that there's been times when there's like 5 people involved with the crash, and 3 of them sadly passed away, and 2 of them didn't, and the 2 that didn't were wearing their seatbelts. So seatbelts is so important, and really important, and also distracted driving, huge. These are some emphasis areas that we're mentioned in the state plan. So today I wanted to really talk about a lot of the projects that make a positive difference on livability and safety for all users. So, you know, as civil engineers, we have a tremendous opportunity to really make a positive impact on our communities. And there's a lot of great projects that I've worked on that have really, I feel really make a difference. So the first one, and I don't know if you all are familiar with downtown Tampa, which is the Kennedy Cycle Track, which is a really exciting project that was completed a few years ago, and it is it's been the first ever cycle track on the state roadway. So if you ever have an opportunity, you can rent a bike downtown, and you can take that bike separated on a separated path all the way to Ybor City. And we did that recently with district roadway engineers from around the state. And these are some photos where all the district engineers, one thing that I've tried to be is, you know, I'm a driver, I use my vehicle, but I've also tried to be a cyclist. And, you know, about once or twice a month, we come out and we actually ride USF. So I don't know if how many students ride, but we do that quite frequently. I know that Cutter also has a bike club as well. Jason Jackman, right, runs that. So it's a great opportunity to get out and be a user of the roadway, and it's important that we take care of all of our users. It's not only the drivers, but it's also the pedestrians, the cyclists, micro mobility users, all different types of users. So this is the path that we took, and it's only like 2.5 miles. So it's a really great opportunity. So I had the opportunity, and this is a great project that I want to share with you. This is the Old Tampa Bay Water Quality Improvement Project. When I was a district drainage engineer, I was able to work on this project, and this was brought to us by some consultants, and it's been a great project, and we're seeing some really positive benefits from it. So basically, all of you maybe are familiar with the Courtney Campbell Causeway and Benty Davis Beach. So what we found through talking with our experts is that causeways, they block the natural circulation pattern of the water bodies that they pass through. And this leads to, you know, reduction in water quality because that water gets stagnant in those areas. And then it adversely impacts seagrasses and marine life. So what was presented to us was this project, which our goal was to meet the department's mission, which we shared with you earlier, meet stormwater treatment criteria and exceed it, enhance overall watershed quality, and reduce project footprints and impacts to communities. So this was the goal of this project. And so these photos show the location of and the construction of this cut, which we made in the causeway so that we could restore the natural circulation pattern. And they're interesting because it shows the construction of a bridge by using cofferdam, and also different ways that we were working to dewater the site and construct that bridge to restore that natural connection and flow pattern throughout the area. So this was also another innovation where the contractor proposed this. They used what they called a portadam, which is basically a steel braced steel bracing with basically a high level liner, and it blocked the water from entering the construction site. So it was a very interesting technique that they used. The project was opened, or the channel was opened, in November of 2018. And then after we did a dye test to confirm that we were going to get the circulation and restore that natural circulation pattern. So what we found through our studies, and we've been studying it we've been going back and studying the effects of that. And we found that we have indeed restored the natural circulation pattern. We restored the natural salinity balance because that was another issue. We've decreased chlorophyll and nitrogen levels, which are primary drivers of algae blooms. And we created a wildlife crossing. We've seen manatees going through there, all sorts of animals that are going through there. Sadly, right now, seagrasses have been a huge issue for the bay. And, you know, all of our, right now, we've been seeing a lot of decline overall in all the seagrasses. But what this project has done is, and we believe that as we decrease pollutants and nitrogen discharges to the waters, we do believe that we're going to get growth in seagrasses. We hope in the future we're going to see more seagrass growth. What we've done is we've set the stage now with this project that we're going to see hopefully a lot of seagrass development within that area. So that's been a big push for us. I also want to highlight that the person that worked on this with me, her name was Virginia Crichton. And unfortunately, Virginia Crichton passed away a couple years ago, but we were honored to have the ability to actually name the bridge after her. So if you go out to Ben T. Davis Beach, a little bit past there, about 1,000 to 2,000 feet past leading towards Pinellas County, you'll see that cut in the causeway, and that is the Virginia Crichton Bridge, which was a co-worker of ours that worked on that project. A lot of times you might see some others, but we were happy because we were able to get a FDOT staff member named after that. So that was great. She was a great environmental scientist and advocate for the environment. So this was this project, and it's a great project, and we really think that it would be very beneficial. Also want to talk about projects that make a benefit to safety. And so we talked about livability and safety on the first one. This is another project that we've recently completed. So this project, this is a pre-developed aerial of this intersection, which was at US 98 and Citrus Way. And in this area, we were having a lot of problems, a lot of issues with serious and fatal crashes. We actually had 8 fatalities within a period of like 5 to 6 years, and we really had to do something. We wanted to do something to be able to resolve that occurrence of how dangerous that was. So so we looked at several different options. We looked at signaling it. We looked at different ways that we might improve it. So the department decided to use a roundabout, a modern roundabout. So in Florida specifically, early results have shown that implementing roundabouts has resulted in a 15 to 40% reduction in all crashes and an 80% reduction in serious injuries and fatalities. So the roundabouts that are properly designed can be very beneficial to safety. There's a lot of roundabouts that are maybe could use a lot of improvement, but a modernly designed roundabout has tremendous positive benefits to safety, and this has been shown through FHWA and also through studies that the FDOT has done. So basically, getting back to that intersection, we as a group worked on that intersection, and these are some schematics. You see it conceptually laid out at the top left, and then you see we were working in 3D. We were working on how we might work on that, and MOT, maintenance of traffic, and how we might construct that. So we actually modeled one of the phases of construction. And then also this area had large trucks. They're called big boy trucks, greater than, I don't know if you guys are all familiar with the WB62, which is the standard truck, and that's the semi trucks that go on an interstate. This was actually, I don't remember if it's an 18-wheeler, but it's the biggest truck that really you can have. So basically, we modeled that, and you see this this little exhibit here where the truck is going through, and basically that that hatched area in blue is the truck apron, and that is meant that the trucks can get up there and utilize that for going through the roundabout. So these are some exhibits through construction, and you see that as we're stepping through the construction, some different areas. And then this is a recent photo from it completed. And so this project was done by our in-house design group, and we're really proud of this because we really feel like this is going to be very beneficial to safety and improving things for the community. A lot of people in the public are generally very concerned about roundabouts and how they use them and things like that. And we've been working on a lot of education and outreach to educate the public about the benefits of roundabouts. A lot of them are very concerned when they are originally put in, but once they have them and they're using them and they get used to them, they really like them. So it's something that we work on to try to educate the public on roundabouts and the benefits. So I thought about this before coming, and I wanted to give some advice for engineers, new engineers, and those coming in. And so the things that I came up were do something that you're passionate about. Put a question mark there, but do something that you're passionate about. Whether it's safety, whether it's design, whether it's construction. Do something that you're preserving the environment. Do something that you're passionate about. Be a good communicator. A lot of engineers can be super technical, so it's really important to work on the communication and to be able to convey the ideas and support the ideas and present the ideas. So that's something very important. I think one thing that I did was I went through Toastmasters. So Toastmasters is a huge benefit to being able to learn and practice communication, and never stop learning. For those that are going to be graduating, learning doesn't stop at graduation. It really should absolutely continue. And then work on innovation. We need to be constantly looking for ways to use new technology, new ways of doing things. I mean, years ago, we didn't have roundabouts as much, and now we're implementing roundabout. They've also got a lot of alternative interchanges, like they've got what they call the divergent diamond interchange, which is something that we weren't using a couple years ago, and now we've got one that has been done at State Road 56 and 75. I know we've got one in Sarasota as well, and we're working on one on MLK, and so we've got a lot of different ones that we're using. And find a good mentor is another good item. Find someone that really is willing to convey their experience and knowledge and take advantage of that. I wanted to also put a plug in for Welcome to Onboard Tampa. This is a push that the department has to try to get talent for all sorts of different facets of construction, and there's a lot of opportunity. We've got a lot of work that's going on. They just selected the West Shore interchange downtown, and they've got what they call a phase design build approach. So that's going to be a huge project. You all probably have seen the Howard Franklin Bridge under construction. There's a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot of opportunities in design. There's also a lot of opportunities for those that are outside of engineering. So there's for anyone that that is maybe their education or college has not been their push. There's a lot of really good trades for those that are working on trades for the construction. So there's a lot of good opportunity. So encourage you to pass along this website and check it out yourself. There's a lot of good opportunities. And this is Work Zone Safety Week. So that's been a big push this week. So I wanted to highlight that. Be careful when you're driving through work zones, and be sure to be alert, put down the cell phones and things like that. follow speed limits and, you know, have your seats and seatbelts, be watching for the workers out there, so. And so I went ahead and I've got another question for you. So it's what questions do you have? And I thought maybe this was the best way, or you can ask me live right now. So we'll open up the floor if you guys want to ask anything. Anyone online too can unmute their mic and ask as well.
This is Brian Porter, actually, he's doing the master's here.
Oh, yes.
So he's doing 2 classes with Maddie. Maddie's one of my
Oh,
PhD
great.
students. And Brian is actually on my project of using drones to collect the traffic data.
Yes.
Yeah, and now he's like a drone experts in your office, maybe in FDOT as well. And
So Brian works in and he's been great. He was in the PE trainee program, yes, and he's been working a lot. Are you working on the drone program as well? Yes. So we've been able to utilize that drone. In fact, some of the footage that we got from the roundabout came from Brian helping us out, and he's been great. And we're really excited to have him. So, yeah, it's great. Mhm.
Do you want to mention people?
The PE training program? Yes, so the department has a great opportunity for new graduates where they have what they call the PE training program, which graduates come in and they can apply. There's about 3 to 4 positions per year, and they bring in PEs and they rotate through all the department. They even go up to central office, to the materials office in Gainesville. They go through design, construction, maintenance, right away. They learn all aspects of the DOT, and then they can graduate, and then they do a year in an area, and then they can usually choose a section after that. So it's a great program, and we've got a lot of successful people that went through that. So
Is it 3 to 4 the whole state or 3?
no, through
every
per,
district?
I think it's per district. I don't know about exactly the number. But they do frequently have them. So we get a lot of good USF people, and I'm working on trying to establish some positions part-time for students.
Mhm.
And because I do want to we have Trevor actually was here and he worked with us for like 2 or 3 years, and he was in drainage.
Mhm.
And then and while I was district drainage engineer, and then we brought him over. The pandemic happened, and I think he had to go home for a while. But then we were able to get him back into roadway. So he got drainage and then he got roadway. So we're working on I think right now there's an internship that's being advertised in one of our teams, and I also have a goal to get a part-time position on our other team. We have 2 teams, which is a blue team and a red team for design. And so they work on a lot of the projects that we've talked about. Very good.
I have a question. You mentioned about modeling the internship fund, and which software did you put that with you modeling?
So you know what, that's a really good question. So I actually had the opportunity. I'm not a modeler as far as traffic modeler. I've done a lot of stormwater modeling, but so I did want to have the opportunity because I do like modeling. It actually really fascinates me. So I took a traffic modeling course, and I have it on my desktop, which one for the roundabouts, and I'm trying to figure out which one we had here. Let's see here. I know I had it here. Unfortunately, my dialogues are so many, but
Okay, this is good because
Yeah.
I just
yeah. I could get back with you on that because it was a really it was a good course, you know, and so we were working on modeling it in that. Mhm.
Julie found it online. She said a great presentation.
Oh, great. Yeah, Julie's a great person, and she supports us a lot with the safety aspects, especially with the pedestrians and bicyclists. And so we're really happy to have the support. And it's I got it. It's HCS 2023. Is that the one? Is that the one? Is that traffic modeling? I think that was the one that we've been using, but yes, so that is the one that I think that they might be using, but that's not my expertise, so I don't quote me on that.
Question
Mhm.
roundabout. I
Mhm.
think the project that you have shown is a perfect location to have a
Mhm.
roundabout because
Yes.
it only has like one lane each direction.
Mhm.
So there will be not too much of wheeling,
Mhm.
divergent thing. If you look at the McKinley Drive
Mhm.
and they have quite a lot of roundabouts along the road.
Mhm.
I think it looks very nice.
Yeah.
But McKinley Drive, they have like a 2 lanes on each side.
Mhm.
So the traffic going through the roundabouts could be a little bit more complicated.
Mhm. That's right.
As a roadway, engineer, design engineer, can you comment on that?
Yeah, I could tell you that like the first, so I think it's 50th Street, right? It's
Yes.
50th Street. So I remember the first time that I drove through there. It really is almost like I call it almost the first time you drive through a roundabout, it really is a little bit uncomfortable, and for me it was uncomfortable, and so you they do have. I haven't designed a multi-lane roundabout, and they do have those opportunities, and they do have criteria for that, and I think that I can't think of any right now in the state system. The ones that I've been involved with were there's one at Trilby and 98, and there's one at Citrus Way and 98. And those, if you notice, all those intersections were skewed as well. So that was another problem with those ones.
Right, because I remember in DC, they have those roundabouts with a statue.
Mm-hmm.
And because it becomes so complicated, they have to put like signals.
Yeah.
Control the entry.
So that's been another topic of concern, is that if the item in the middle of the roundabout is too distracting for drivers, it can be a huge issue. Some of you, maybe you were around on State Road 60 in Clearwater. They had a water fountain in there, and it became a huge issue. It eventually had to be removed. So we typically are only really allowing landscaping in roundabouts, and what our criteria says is that the landscaping is part of an element because it distracts or makes the driver his view. It works with the sighting and things like that. I don't know the exact terminology, but it works as an element to slow vehicles as they're going through there. Another thing that's really important is the chicaning as you approach the roundabout, chicaning the trucks or the cars so that they are not it's not a straight shot, because I've seen some issues where the vehicles actually drive straight through the center of the roundabout. So it's important to really have that chicaning on the approach. And this one, it's not as pronounced. Well, you do see it where it's directing the vehicles to chicane, and you also have those raised medians, and they're getting more of a constriction feeling. And also lighting is important, things like that, to increase the visibility. Mm-hmm.
The master plan, in the summer of 2021, about installing like more infrastructures.
Yes.
I just wanted to.
I could get back with you. I know that they're working a lot, first of all, to find places to put all the charging stations. I think that's a lot of the infrastructure that you're talking about, right? So I know that they in the past they had worked a lot at the charging stations at like the Turnpike authorities rest areas and all the other rest areas, and that they've been working a lot to find places. I think they really needed like state facilities to be able to put the charging stations in. And I don't know if that's opened up a little bit more, so that's definitely an aspect that they've been focusing on. Mhm.
There's a new grant program coming from Biden administration, because I think the previous funding is focused on interstate highways.
Mhm.
So now they actually have to find how much, it's a big chunk of money.
Yeah.
So the city, NPO, or the state can apply for the grant and it puts the charging station not along this interstate highway, but more locally.
Oh, that's great. Yeah.
Their, representatives or the low income household, they can access the charging from their own garage.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting. Yeah. Well, there's what's really exciting about civil engineering is there's so many different facets and different things. I mean, I could tell you like it gets into like one thing that I was working on was concrete rehab. I mean, and that was something that was really interesting, that like all of our concrete rehab, we have to rehab them, and then the pavement design and things like that. So there's so many different facets of different things that you can work on in different like niche areas. So it really is a great profession. So
Training. I think FDOT also has another benefit is you can cover up to like a 6 credits.
yes, and
In-state tuition for the employees.
that's
if they
right.
Want to continue education.
So I actually have taken advantage of that, and I've been taking some classes, but I'm a little bit off and on because I keep pretty busy. So, but
Sure.
I've been pursuing through the industrial engineering, the master's in engineering management, which is great, and I got to get back into it. But
That's right.
yeah, so a lot of DOT staff do take advantage of that.
Mhm.
There's a tremendous amount of training opportunities at the DOT for like many different things like public engagement. They've got a lot of leadership academies, management supervisors academies. There's a lot of potential benefits. The private sector has a lot of opportunities as well, but there's different pros and cons to each. So
Actually, what's his name? Your secretary.
Purdue or Secretary Gwen.
Secretary Wen
Mhm.
was here in our GMD day event. And then he talked about his experience, how he moved from private sector to public sector.
Yes.
I think the good thing about being public sector, especially at the senior level, is you're really involved in the decision-making process. And then you will have more influence to the community.
Yeah.
Right?
So I mean, and it's exciting to be able to work on a lot of these different initiatives. Like two things that I do. I'm on the innovation committee for DOT for our district, and the Target Zero ambassador, which is for safety, and they provide a lot of opportunities to see different ideas that are coming in and try to work on different things to make things more efficient and things like that. So.
Innovation committee. I know at the central office they have emerging technology engineer. So is that some counterparts or?
I think that they are involved, and we had a director of innovation, and I think they're looking to fill that again in central office. But innovation can happen in so many different ways. So it could be like as far as recruitment and retention has been a big one. Also safety and all the other things, public engagement, customer service. There's so many different ways that we can get innovation. So.
Yeah, so we have one more seminar this semester. Next Friday, we invited Dr. Mingyang Lee from Industrial and Management Systems Engineering. And he actually applied some, data analytics, big data, etc., to the transportation fields. Partial of his research is that. So, it will be another interesting presentation. And we will go back to part 2 next week. Okay.
All right. I see. I was looking at who's online, and I see Jason's online, and I guess Julie was online too. That's cool. Yeah. Jason, I did a plug for your bike club, so hopefully we can get more involved with that.
And I know Dr. Payson Lin from Qatar participated in this Toastmasters before.
Great, yeah.
And they have the gathering in your office, right?
They do. They have it every Thursday afternoon. And that's one way that I met Jason was in that, and that was a great opportunity. And I don't know if he's counted all my today. So
Thank you again for being here,
All right.
and present the very impressive projects, and also, interactive with our students.
great. Yeah, I thank you for the opportunity. It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, I know you also participated in our capstone design evaluation. And
I'm looking,
thank you
is that
so
next
much.
week? I think that's next week, right? 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
So I'm
Dr.
looking forward to
Timur,
that.
thank you.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll have some good participation from the DOT as well. So really excited to see that. Mhm.
All right, thank you so much. Let's give
Appreciate it.
another round.
Thank you.